KT, and that's KaydashcapitalT, and I'm an artist. So a really popular topic that I'm going to be discussing today about the art world this year and last year as well is zombie formalism. So several pieces were particularly interesting to me that have occurred already within this genre of zombie formalism, including this paintball shootout, which is found in the link below. I decided against shooting the zombies. I didn't really want to create this similar aesthetic effect directly, but I also didn't want to enter a discussion about firearms or the ethics of the undead, but I found it much more interesting to use the zombies as a self-animated paintbrush. There was a greater element of danger involved for myself, which was challenging but rewarding. I needed the zombies to be interacting with the work with such a way that only zombies could. So what's missing from many artists' claims to the zombie formalism genre is that the artists are in fact still living in the traditional sense. And for the majority did not identify as zombies at all, nor did they employ any actual zombies. So I don't claim to police the identity of these artists, but if we are talking about formalism, I do want to represent the zombies in the formalist sense. So it's really just like human nature to have the privilege, create blind spots and representation within the art world. So thus zombie formalism has a stark lack of the use of zombies creating art, which I think is a really obvious overlook. But another complication with zombie formalism is that perhaps the painters are not as influential as the curators, as found in this article on Hyperallergic. I see that there's another way that individuals with power often within the art world are silencing and the truly groundbreaking artistic voices. And as absurd as it sounds, the art that is too ahead of its time often does not receive the spaces it deserves, or the recognition or the representation. So this is one of the reasons I'm not more well known than I am. And I've taken it as a note of encouragement. That's why I've chosen not to market myself. But moving on, this piece could be considered as an interactive painting performance or even a collaboration with myself as the artist, but if the zombies are not actually alive, then they are acting as a paintbrush to my canvas. The mystery of this may never be solved, nor is it meant to be, but that tension is an ongoing point of interest within the piece conceptually. But the aesthetic result is also very strong. I do see the resulting painting by some zombies are more successful than others. You can really sense the difference in energy between these paintings. Some much more movement, much more expressive. Others, however, are more introverted. But these simpler marks carry like a really heavier weight, though much more of a yearning, a search. The gesture is sketch-like in nature, while the others are more decisive or literal. So I think the artist Ryan Estep might be the closest I've seen to approach true zombie formalism methods as a human artist. In this article by W Magazine, there's a quote that I identify. He will paint the edges of a large canvas with a mixture of black pigment and lidocaine, a skin-numbing agent that makes his hands fumble as he attempts to re-stretch the wet canvas on the frame. Estep might be eschewing traditional methods of painting. He is expressing physical gestures in an honest way, he says. The messiness of his work, he ends, reflects how much I hate what I'm doing at the moment. So the connection he has between the numbness and fumbling nature that is apparent in zombie performance, as well as how much he may hate the action itself, is drawing very close to the zombie experience. But is it appropriative of zombie culture? It depends on whether or not zombies are in fact considered alive. All in all, the body of work and the bodies used for the work is very successful and motivates intellectual, political, and emotional discussion that is ongoing, brutal, and undying. Until next time, I'm KT.